the second straight night here on ESPN, it's a Pac-10 Mountain West matchup as Utah, ranked number 23, goes against Cal. They'll try and stop Kevin Riley, as Cal will do with Jordan Wynn. It's coming up.
ESPN's Bowl Week continues in festive San Diego for a holiday shootout. Kyle Whittingham's Utah Utes try to extend the nation's longest active bowl winning streak, and they're led by 1,000-yard rusher Eddie White. The California Golden Bears come into the Poinsettia Bowl with their confidence shaken. The Bears will be without star tailback Javid Best and will need junior quarterback Kevin Riley to elevate his game. Cal will need a win to deem their season a success. Here come the Utes, 9-3 out of the Mountain West Conference this year. Welcome to the 2009 Poinsettia Bowl, presented by the San Diego County Credit Union. It's the Utah Utes, ranked 23rd in the country with a 9-3 record. They're trying to extend the nation's longest active bowl winning streak against the California Golden Bears with an 8-4 record. And here come the Bears representing the Pac-10. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick, Craig James. It's great to have you with us. You know, this had to be a disappointing season for Cal. They were ranked as high as 6th in the polls earlier this year before a couple of big losses. For Utah, a couple of crushing defeats actually kept them out of the top 10. What do you see in this matchup tonight?
I look forward to seeing which Cal team shows up, and I'm sure they do as well. But I know for certain if they don't show up, Utah is playing with an edge about them. I mean, that Mountain West Conference, you don't think those guys have brotherhooded up together and they're going to go show all the big boys why they should be an automatic qualifier? So I'm looking in this football game for Utah to come out, try to protect their freshman quarterback Jordan Wynn with a good, solid running game. Eddie White, a 1,000-yard rusher. You just mentioned him just a moment ago. He's a player that's not a big breakaway guy, but he has to be consistent. Cal's rush defense is good. If they can somehow protect Jordan Wynn and run the football, then Utah has a chance to extend their winning streak in bowl games.
Well, Cal will not have the great job at best. He's still recovering from his injuries. They have Shane Vereen, who's the terrific backup, but he's iffy too with injuries.
I may go down there, huh?
Yes,
what
sir.
A little pat and go, catch a ball out of the flat? No chance. Cal's offensive line is a good offensive line. They're very physical. They're talented up front, regardless of who's behind them tonight, save and except you and me. They're going to try to run the football, allow play-action passes to happen with Kevin Riley, their quarterback.
All right, this should be a lot of fun. The San Diego Bowl season is underway. 2 games. This is the first of those, the Poinsettia Bowl between Utah and Cal. Welcome back to San Diego, almost ready for kickoff. Before we do that, we get onto the field. Heather Cox with Utah head coach Kyle Whittingham. Heather?
Mike, Utah owns the nation's longest active bowl win streak, including a win last year over Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. And, Coach, what has been Utah's secret to success in these bowl games?
I think plain and simple, it's the way our players approach the bowl game. With their work ethic, their mentality. You know, we don't have a corner on the market for any special way to practice or prepare. It's just their mental approach to the game.
And, Coach, you've admitted a big part of this game is the play of your true freshman quarterback, Jordan Wynn, who has the additional pressure of playing at home. What have you done to put him in a position to succeed and not be overwhelmed by this situation?
Well, I think our game at TCU and then a game against our rivals, BYU, at the end of the season was great preparation for this. And, you know, he's a guy that stays calm under pressure, very poised. Just what you want in a quarterback is what he has for his demeanor.
Kyle, thanks so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Mike?
Thank you, Heather. There's Jeff Tedford. He needs just one more victory to become the winningest coach at Cal in the program's modern era. In 8 seasons, he is 67-34. had a great reputation for developing quarterbacks and running backs.
Yeah, all that offensive line, and I think that has been the key to his success here. He's creative. He's a good coach. And you know what? The pride of that Pac-10 after last night, BYU whipping up on Oregon State, to me, that's what this game's about.
They handed it to him, didn't they?
Yeah.
Giorgio Tavecchio will kick off to Smithson and Christopher. Shaky Smithson from the 4. And taken down just shy of the 20-yard line.
Well, Jordan Wynn, you know what? He's a youngster, a freshman, and wasn't that long ago he's here playing a high school football game.
Absolutely. Played in this stadium both in 2007 and 2008 in the high school playoffs. They went to him in the last third of the season. They wanted more production out of that quarterback spot. He has given it to them, even though he is only 2-2 as a starter. Eddie Wide with the carry. And he goes across the 20 to about the 22-yard line. You can see the starting lineups at the bottom of your screen. Wide is the guy to keep an eye on, and Reed is their top receiver with 75 catches this year. Spread the field with 4 wide receivers. Wide remains in now, goes out on the pattern. And they throw underneath complete to Reed, who makes his 76th grab. Bryant Nabufi made the tackle. Very good corner. A couple of really good corners on this Cal defensive unit.
Yeah, you know what, though? This is a pass defense that has been a disappointment this season for Cal. They thought with their secondary this season they'd be really strong back there, but coming in ranked 108th in the country has not been what they were hoping for.
No, but it does not diminish the skill of those 2 corners. 3rd and about 4. Win out of Oceanside, California. Wide on the little shovel pass. Wide. Midfield. Down to the 30-yard line. Finally stopped by Sean Cattouse, but he picked up 45 yards. One of the oldest pass plays in football.
And what I like about it, Mike, is the way they set it up. Watch how wide he's going to come to the right and then back underneath, which really moved those linebackers. It created a little separation. The linebackers got lost on the inside. And then you see Wide with his speed and open field ability. Better runner in the open field than many people suspect.
You can tell he doesn't have great speed, but good enough to make big plays. Wynn fakes it to Wide this time. Looked like he wanted to set up a screen, and it wasn't there, so he throws the ball away. The closest man to it was Reed, but Alu was putting a lot of pressure on him. There is a marker down. And apparently they have picked it up.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm looking for yellow on green. They did. They picked it up. For the bunch.
Wide on that read option, and this time he didn't have a chance. And Tyson Alu, who is such a good defensive end, very good pass rusher, showed you why he is such a good tackler that time. Stayed at home. He is number 3 on this team.
Well, we'll show you how smart we are. Let's put him on our impact players. What do you think about that,
Okay.
Mike? All right, let's go. Eddie Wide. We've already seen Wide make a play with a shovel, and there he is, Alu. Inside, he has to have a big game. This is a good matchup, as well as linebacker Mike Mohammed. This season, you see the sacks and the interception, but he is a player. So it's a nice little matchup tonight in the ball game.
Jordan Wynn now looking at a 3rd and 11. Empty backfield. 3 wide receivers to the near side. Wynn flushed out of the pocket. And does not get back to the line of scrimmage. Good hustle by Cameron Jordan one of the interior defensive linemen, number 97, wouldn't let the quarterback get away.
And on the rush 3, dropped 8 into coverage. And on a 3rd and long situation like that, a young quarterback, rather than forcing the ball in, being smart in the management of the football game.
Now you're sort of in that never land area right now with the ball at the 34. Field goal try be 51, 52 yards.
They'll probably play field position on this thing and let their defense go out and not do anything foolish.
And that's exactly what they're going to do, sending on Sean Selwood, who averages 43 yards a kick to punt. And Jeremy Ross is deep.
5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
On that last play, because it was a loss of yardage, Cameron Jordan credited with a sack, his 6th of the season. Pressure on the punter, but he gets it out of there and just into the end zone. 39-yard kick and no return, and Cal will start at the 20-yard line.
Well, will they start? Would that not be the appropriate question if you're a Cal Bear, right? Will they start this game appropriately?
Yes. Well, they're going to ask Kevin Riley to manage this game today, Craig, as they have the entire season. He has done that as a manager at that position. 17 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions this year. And they will start with Vereen at tailback. Vereen with 163 carries, 830 yards in relief of Javid Best. And you can see the California Golden Bear offense scroll by on the bottom of your screen.
And the reason I say, will they start this game the right way? I mean, and they start quick and they're good. In their 8 wins, they average 40 points. In their 4 losses, it's 7.5 points a game.
And in those, they haven't started at all.
No.
Vereen, big hole this time. How's that for a start? Vereen to the 49-yard line. He's been bothered by knee and ankle injuries ever since he had 42 carries against Stanford in a massive game.
You know what? And this is how you start the game strong. Vereen banged up just a little bit, as you talked about earlier, but he's got the vision. You see that the breakdown in the defense at Utah, they bunched up. And that big Cal offensive line, watch how they just push and drive, annihilating. Great job. Mitchell Schwartz, that right tackle, just pushed down the right side of that Utah defense.
Vereen in his last 3 games has averaged 147 yards a contest. And off that Stanford game, he showed you how much of a workhorse he can be. Brandon Burton made the stop coming up from the corner to slow him down. You'll be able to take a look at the Utes defense. Vereen playing for Javid Best, and his name is perfect. One of the best in the country before his harrowing injury took him out of the lineup. Not many programs have a guy like Vereen waiting in the wings. Pass underneath, complete to Jeremy Ross. Best had gained 867 yards until this moment against Oregon State, and just a frightening moment as he came down, and you could see his arms, just what a terrible position he ended up being in. Had to be carted off the field, had a concussion. He's over the concussion symptom. That's fine, but his back is still bothering him, and that's one of the reasons he is not available tonight. If this game had been a week later, he might have been able to play. They tried to get Vereen on the screen. He didn't have a chance because Stevenson Sylvester, an outstanding linebacker, was right in his grill.
You know, to finish up a little bit on Javid Best, early in the season, Mike, I thought he was a true Heisman candidate. And in terms of the running backs, Mark Ingram was behind him.
Absolutely.
Who ended up winning the Heisman. And if Best had come out and I think stayed healthy this season, 2 things would have happened. He'd have been in the Heisman race at the end, and Cal would have done a lot better in the backstretch.
He'd have had maybe 1,400 yards had it not been for that injury. They'll punt it away. Smithson signals fair catch and makes it at the 12-yard line after a punt of 35. So right now, all Javid Best can do is be a cheerleader for his ball club. Welcome back to San Diego. Scoreless first quarter. Heather Cox working the sidelines for us. Heather, you have more on Javid Best?
Indeed, Mike. I actually talked to Javid Best before the game. He said his concussion symptoms finally went away after 3 weeks of absolutely no activity. The problem, once he started physical activity, he discovered that his back had also been injured in that horrific fall that you saw. He admitted that if the game had been even a week later, he feels he could have played. He said, I'm just not in game shape. I'm running. I'm still working that back. It's starting to feel better, but I'm just not quite ready.
Well, I'm glad he made the decision and they made the decision with him, Heather, to err on the side of caution, if nothing else. You wouldn't want anything happen to that young man. He's got quite a future. Last carry was Eddie Wide, picked up a couple.
Yeah, you know what? When you see a ball carrier go as high as he did on that, that's I had a coach my freshman year in high school. Coach Garrison said,
never leave your feet.
Never leave your feet. When you leave your feet, there's nothing good's going to happen to you.
But you did it anyway sometimes, didn't you?
And I got hurt.
Yeah, that's right. Looks spectacular on film, though, didn't it?
Yeah. The guy was out of film, though, with my game.
Win. Pressure. And they got him from behind. Looked like he was tripped up by Kendrick Payne. Young man who's been hurt a lot this year, number 96, looked like he clipped the ankle of Jordan Wynn as he tried to get out of the pocket.
Dave Schramm, offensive coordinator, says the one good thing about Wynn is when he's in the pocket, his eyes stay downfield, he continues to look. But when you only have 4 rushing and there's 7 back there in coverage and only a handful of receivers, you're going to have a hard time finding a white jersey coming open.
That's for sure. 3rd and long for the true freshman Jordan Wynn. Only the 3rd true freshman to play quarterback at Utah, and whistles will stop the play. Looked like somebody moved up front before the snap.
Full start. Offense, number 54. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Tavita Stevens, redshirt freshman right guard, a young man who's improved virtually every game through the season. He's going to be a good one.
Yeah, but as they say, their little saying at Utah offensive line, if their name's not being called during the game, that's usually a good sign.
Yeah, always.
And you just were sitting there talking about one of them.
Four-man rush. Wynn hangs in the pocket and throws incomplete. Looked like Reed may have stopped his pattern, and that's never a good thing for a quarterback.
No, it's not, and neither is 3rd and long situations for a freshman quarterback. So, and as I said, and I'll stick to this game for Utah, the chance for them to win, they must find a way to grind out a ground game. The Cal Bears defense, they're good against the rush, but they got to stay the course and somehow get wide in it.
Selwood will punt to Ross, who has a tremendous average this year. Only 9 opportunities to return punts. He's averaging better than 21 yards a return. Not this time. 48 yards. Riley will get a chance to go back on offense in a moment.
ESPN College Football, the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, is brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union, proud sponsor of the Poinsettia Bowl and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and the all-new Kia Forte, the first of its kind.
Welcome back to San Diego. California has enjoyed much better field position here in the first quarter. They have averaged starting at their own 33. This time they start from their own 46. Riley deep out, too strong, intended for Marvin Jones. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow night. June Jones returns to Hawaii and leads his SMU Mustangs team against a great Nevada Wolfpack offense in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN360.com tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. That's a watershed event for SMU, isn't it?
25 years. Congratulations, Ponies.
Vereen will take it to midfield on this run.
Of course, they've got to play Nevada's Chris Alt pistol offense, and they've had 3,000-yard rushers for Nevada this year. So here comes
That's
SMU.
all right.
At least they're in the game.
They're there.
You know what? And they're excited about it. And
got to start somewhere, don't you?
Well, how about starting in Hawaii?
Yes, sir.
How nice is
not
that?
Bad.
Huh?
Third and 6. Riley spreads the field and has Vereen with him in the backfield. Vereen goes out in the flat, and Riley throws over the middle, complete to Jones. Coming off a career game against Washington in the season finale, 6 catches, 107 yards. Lamar Chapman made the tackle.
Look at all the pressure that Utah, they got the blitzing, the stunning up front. And Marvin Jones, who has 11 catches of over 20 yards this season, he's about a shoestring away, an ankle break away from getting that one and taking it to the house.
So first down, Cal at the Utah 40. This is a really good Utah defense, ranked 20th in the nation overall. Vereen picks up 4. Vereen 5'10", 198-pounder.
You know what? When you talk about Utah's defense and their ranking, this is a team that plays well. And I say team because it seems like they are a football team. You know, they're not a lot of stars, but like last year's undefeated squad, I mean, they just come out and they play hard, fast, and extremely well coached.
Yes, they are. Vereen, nice cutback. Enormous hold for Vereen. The safety fell down, and Vereen goes all the way for the touchdown. Brandon Burton, who was the deepest man on the field, apparently lost his footing and went down. And when number 27 went down, there was nobody else home.
And you're going to see the backside block, how important it is. Big all-conference Mike Tepper right here. Watch this block. There's your key. That allows the break to come to the backside. An outstanding job of blocking and shutting down and creating a hole backside.
The point after is good, and Craig, you said Cal needed the quick start. Well, they've got it. They've had field position advantage, and they took advantage of it that time.
Got a little wheels to him, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Who was that guy?
He's a good one. Welcome back to San Diego, where Cal has taken a 7-0 lead in the Poinsettia Bowl. 54 yards in less than 2 minutes. And Vereen ate up most of that on the touchdown run. Tavecchio to kick off again. Christopher and Smithson are deep. Christopher from the 4. Tripped up and goes airborne across the 25.
Yeah, let's go back here. I'm going to show you this play, the scoring, the touchdown run by Vereen, and count the number of Utah defenders inside that box. When he makes the cutback, you can count 9. Now, you got a great block on the backside by Alex Loggeman, the wide receiver. But there has to be a lot of folks committed. Utah knows they've got to be up front and commit to stopping the run. They've got good corners, but that puts pressure on the corners in man-to-man. There will be some opportunities from play action and single coverage downfield.
If you can't stop it with 9, your odds aren't very good.
Yo, boo-boo.
That one's intercepted. It will be a touchdown as Eddie Young, the senior outside linebacker, stepped right in the passing lane and took it. Wynn looked like he was staring down his receiver, and Young was staring him down.
He is a freshman quarterback coming back home, and you wondered how much that he would put pressure on himself. Immediately looks to his receiver. He just didn't feel nor see the linebacker jump in front of the football. That's an easy read for an experienced quarterback.
14-0. Cal with 5:55 to go in the first quarter in San Diego. 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds for the Golden Bears. Cal celebrating early. 2 touchdowns in 11 seconds. They're up 14-0. Big return by Smithson. Shaky Smithson all the way to the 30-yard line, and boy, did they need that. He went 61 yards before he was knocked out of bounds.
Man, I'm so glad that Shaky did something tonight. We can use that name. I likes it. But how about a return to pick up this football team? It always happens, it seems like, when somebody jumps out big in the first quarter, 14-0. You know what? You loosen up that intensity, that focus not quite there. And if you're a good team like Utah, they're not going to quit. They're going to come out and find a way to get back in the game.
Well, let's see how Jordan Wynn responds. Coming in this game, he had 5 touchdowns and 3 picks. Got hurt on the last one. Wide is back there with him. And they'll give it to Wide on the draw play. Little counter action. And he picks up maybe a half a yard before Tyson Alu made the stop.
Yeah, he made the stop while he was being held. I mean, it's the front 4 of Cal's winning the game right now. And until Utah's offensive line sets their pads and gets aggressive up there and gets Mr. Eddie White in the ball game, Utah's going to struggle. Jordan Wynn will struggle.
Utah's run the ball 6 times for a net 0 so far. Wide will try it again. Picks up only a couple. And there's that guy, Alu, along with Mike Muhammad, who is the leading tackler on this team.
I think he's a leading tackler in the Pac-10.
He is.
105 on the season, so he stays around the football. And we're seeing this Cal Bear defense. This is the good side and the good Cal team that showed up tonight.
Third and long again for the true freshman quarterback. Wynn completes this one inside the 20-yard line to Luke Matthews. And he has just enough for a first down. Eddie Young, who had the interception, made the tackle.
Now that punt interception for Utah, not what they're used to starting like on offense.
No. Hopefully they're going to cap this one off with a score to cut into that 14-point lead. Wide, trying to get wide and can't. There's Muhammad again. Very tough to run wide on a 3-4.
Yeah, it is. And it's also tough whenever the backside's not respecting what you're doing. I want you to watch away from the plate. Watch over here what's happening backside. You've got to pull that ball. You've got to make them stay at home. Right now, Cal's just running to the ball with no respect for the covering the field. So you've got to spread the Cal defense out, slow them down some.
Well, if it's going to look like a read option, occasionally Wynn has to keep it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's only carried 17 times all season. So it's obviously not a major part of their offense. Wynn sets here, throws complete down to the 15-yard line again to Luke Matthews. And another inside linebacker, Devin Bishop, stuck him there.
That's the right play, though, to get back in third manageable. I like that. It's a good call. It's a conservative call, but it's the right way of protecting your quarterback. And now they got it. Now Jordan Wynn has to look. He has to see down the field. He'll get a single coverage opportunity here. See if he can go to him.
David Reed, number 16, is his favorite receiver. He's all the way out here on the near side. Looks that way. Instead throws underneath. And that's going to be very close to a first down. Matthews makes his third catch. Maybe a football short of a first down. they set up to go for it. And wide has the first down. Well, I like that play call. That was well done.
Absolutely, Mike. You know, how many times have we had like a play with this that a team we covered earlier this season where we talked about the quick snap and how you're taking advantage of that defense who hasn't set properly. Right before the play, watch and observe how the Cal defense are still moving around. And this is wide up the field, but it's really the experience and the coaching of Utah to get to the line and go.
And you give them no chance to put in short yardage personnel. You know, they've got to be thinking while they're running. Makes it tougher. First and goal, Utah. Tight formation this time. Play fake to wide, throw to the end zone, and what's the call? Touchdown. Kendrick Moe-Ai making only his third catch of the entire season and his first touchdown grab off the nice play fake.
Oh, wow, what a great throw. I'm not sure he has possession. That left foot was on the line. I don't think that he was in. I don't think he had possession.
The question is going to be, was the right foot down when he had possession? And now they're going to take a look at it. The right foot was down, but did he have possession before it came up? Obviously, the left foot was not in.
Timeout. University of California. They're challenging the previous ruling on the field of a catch.
A win, certainly, if this pays off. Had a good drive after that interception. He would be 4 for 4.
Well, you know what, Mike? I think you're right there. It has to be indisputable video evidence to turn it over and reverse the call. And I believe here on this, in real time, the ball is in his hands, foot's on the ground. There's not enough evidence in there there's no evidence in there.
I agree.
I think this is a touchdown.
Watch the right foot. He doesn't have to get the left foot down if the right foot is down. Now we'll look at it in real speed. Much tougher call. We have such an advantage with the replay and slowing it down and being able to take a look at lines.
After review, the previous ruling on the field is confirmed. The player's right foot was inbound. Touchdown.
And Craig, I think it was a point well taken on your part that there was just not enough to overturn it.
No, and a great camera shot there by Dave Van Darko, our guy. I mean, you know what? He's right there with it, sees it. Just the right call.
University of California is charged with their first team timeout.
Well, now there's one you don't want to see. You get a timeout after a challenge on an extra point.
I think what he was saying, was he saying there's another additional timeout? I think he was just saying that it's basically, they charged the timeout because of the ruling went against Cal.
That has to be.
This is why you and I run together.
So you can explain me?
No, we can explain each other.
Well, that's why I was confused. Why would they announce it? They had already said he had a timeout.
Yeah, I think he's just rubbing it in there. But I do like the call on this thing here. The right foot down. There's not indisputable video evidence enough to overturn it. So, what an answer, though. How about that? What a great answer. And it started with a kickoff return and the special teams at Utah not falling asleep, A. B,
right.
Fourth and short, getting to the line of scrimmage and going.
Shakey's and ESPN Dallas.com. California with a chance to return this. So Fele out across the 35. Let's go to John Saunders. John.
Well, Mike, it's time for a Sports Center right now, and it's good news for Brian Westbrook, the Eagles running back who's missed much of the season with concussion problems. will be available to play against the Broncos. They say all of the concussion issues have been solved, so he'll be back in the lineup. Eagles have already qualified for the playoffs. And the Floyd Mayweather-Manny Pacquiao fight on March the 13th is in jeopardy. Mayweather wants Olympic-style blood tests. Pacquiao says no.
Thank you, John. This is Vereen on the delay. Shakes a couple of tacklers. Turned nothing into a gain of 5 yards. That's just good, hard running.
How about our man Saunders doing a little Sports Center tonight for us?
Yes, sir.
Happy holidays to you, Saunders, my man. Say hi to the family. Merry Christmas to you.
John's got to get some hockey in there eventually.
He's what a goon had to have been. I think he played 40 years of hockey and he never scored a goal.
No, but I'm sure he stopped a few.
Yep.
But about the blue line took somebody out. Sylvester makes a stop this time. Vereen just back to the line of scrimmage, and it will be 3rd and 5.
You see a little more active Utah defensive line. They've got to get off blocks. The Cal offensive line is bigger than they are, more physical. They have to be quick and move and get off and defeat blocks.
Well, wouldn't you imagine the defensive coordinator, Kalani Sitake, really went after him after that display they had on the last California possession. 3rd and 5, quarterback draw. And enough for a first down for Kevin Riley. That's his 76th run of the year. So Riley can hurt you with his feet as well.
Oh, man. I tell you, just sitting there watching that Cal offensive line just getting on top of those white jerseys and not letting them come clean to make plays.
Welcome back to the 2009 Poinsettia Bowl presented by the San Diego County Credit Union. 14-7 Cal as we start the second quarter. Golden Bears with good field position here, starting at their own 48-yard line. Vereen can't get outside as Sylvester made that stop.
Well, it's clear, and we talked about it at the beginning of the show, that California, when they come out and they start strong and they score points, they're really good. And those 8 wins, I'm not sure, Mike, if I've seen a stat that different, right?
Yeah, it's dramatic.
Yeah, that was
because against Oregon, they only got 3 points. Against USC, they only got 3 points. At Washington, they only got 10, and they gave up a ton in all those games. So it seems to affect everything. Trying to set up a screen, and Utah had it defensed beautifully. And to Kevin Riley's credit, he did not throw the pass. He just tried to make the best out of a bad situation.
And you know what? An excellent job of 42, Naifotu on the outside. Defensive lineman, former linebacker, really keeping Riley and forcing him back to the short field so that Riley couldn't get outside.
They're playing without Derek Shelby, the normal defensive end who starts on the left side. He's out with a knee injury. So rotating a couple of different guys at that left end spot, and both have played pretty well. Again, they want a screen. They go to Vereen this time, and Vereen just gets back to the original line of scrimmage before he's taken out of bounds at the 48-yard line. So after being roughed up in the first couple of series by the Cal offense, the Utah defense standing up a little bit.
It didn't seem like they were in the game there. The defense, they were fighting. You could see the defensive linemen fighting arms, getting them off of the blockers, and they were recognizing the plays that Cal was running.
Smithson is deep, waiting at his 10. Returnable kick as he took it at the 23-yard line. Let's head back to the studio for this update, brought to you by Flomax. Welcome back to San Diego. Utah ball starting at their own 23-yard line. Jordan Wynn now 6 out of 9, 74 yards. Had a pick for a touchdown earlier, but then threw a touchdown pass as well. And Wide swallowed up.
Well, the last drive, Utah, it all started with the big return by Shaky Smithson. The kickoff return when they're down 14-0. And then Jordan Wynn kind of got a little confidence, throwing some controlled short. I thought really nice job of play calling by Dave Schramm. The ball in the end zone for the touchdown. And you know what? Utah just stayed the course, didn't they, Mike? They didn't panic. They came back out, executed. 7 points.
They're going to have a problem, though, Craig, if they can't get the running game cranked up a little better. 8 carries for only 12 yards for Eddie Wide. 1,000-yard back this year. Wynn to the sideline, bobbled and caught at midfield. Jeremy Brooks, gain of 27 yards.
Yeah, you know what? A really nice ball thrown to the outside by Wynn, and Brooks going up, who had 49 catches on the season. Hey, that'll loosen up that front four and let you run the football.
When the timing on that throw was good, too, because Wynn put that ball in the air before Brooks made his final cut, and it was waiting for him when he turned his head. Sashawn Sakarine is in for the first time. He's got to be on the all-name team.
Well, I'm going to let you keep saying it. Ooh, bringing the wood.
Sakarine has a first down to the 34-yard line, where Eddie Young made the tackle.
It's tempo. Look at Utah going to the line of scrimmage, picking the pace of the football game up, not letting Cal get their substitutions in there, not getting their sets, and Utah taking it to them. Beautiful.
They have changed up the tempo a couple of times, and it's been to their benefit every time they've done it.
Offside. Defense number 40. Contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Aaron Tipoti was offside. That cost him 5. So it's 1st and 5 for the Utes.
And the first 3 drives, punt, interception, it was 3rd and 10. It was 3rd and long.
That's right. Wynn again with good protection. Has this complete to David Reed, who is inside the 15-yard line. Reed led the Mountain West Conference in catches and yards this year. Only needs 6 catches and 61 yards in this game for new school records.
Well, it just really, now they've got this short control passing game that's setting up that run. It's finally taken Cal out of that pressure up front, and it's allowing that Utah offensive line to set their pads and get in this game.
Wide comes back in and splits out as a receiver. 2nd and 8, and now Wide returns to take the direct snap in that Wildcat formation. Trying to get outside and buried as he got to the 12. Tried to cross him up a little bit, but Cal wasn't buying it. Michael Hendricks, the second leading tackler on this team, was in on the stop along with Sidquan Thompson, their outstanding corner.
Well, Utah, when they get in the red zone, of recent, in their last 4 games, they've been 16 of 16 and 11 touchdowns. And a pretty effective unit when they get down here putting points on the board.
Looking to the sideline here on 3rd down. Play clock running down. Wynn forced out of the pocket. And incomplete. Excellent coverage by that Cal secondary. Wynn looked like he was on target with the throw, But his receiver, David Reed, was belted and couldn't hold on.
Yeah, and, Reed's one of those guys that normally catches a football. Man, this is a shot.
He got leveled. And they'll have to bring on the field goal team with Joe Phillips, who's had an outstanding year, hitting 17 of 19. This will be basically a chip shot of 28 yards. So 10 straight points for the Utes after they fell behind 14-0 here in the Poinsettia Bowl. Some shots of SeaWorld. Didn't have a chance to make it over there this time. San Diego has one bad week of weather a year. It was this week.
What do you mean? Cold or something?
Cold.
Yeah, but it was beautiful.
Well, today.
Yeah.
Last couple days been chilly, rainy.
Wait a minute. How cold was it and snowy where you came from?
Well, it was 57 here. That's still cold. Here's John Saunders. Is it cold there, John?
Cold? It's freezing. You can barely start your car. Just want to remind everybody, don't turn away from the football game. But when you get a chance during commercials, you might want to check ESPN2, where West Virginia, ranked number 6 in the nation, is leading Ole Miss by 7 in the second half. Mike, back to you. It's very cold.
All right, John. Got a little nicer out here. It's not East Coast cold, but it's cold for San Diego. Incomplete, intended for Marvin Jones, but Brandon Burton recognized the pattern and just gotten away and slowed down a little bit. It's all he needed to do.
Well, we're seeing a little bit of the bad Cal Bears offense now, aren't we? They don't have the rhythm. They might want to consider going to a little up-tempo offense.
Well, Riley is looking at a lot of man-to-man coverage. That's what Utah plays. And he's going to have to be able to beat that. Vereen, there's Sylvester, a very active linebacker. 4-year starter, graduated earlier this month. Young man who has not been 100% all year long. This may be his healthiest all season.
Yeah, watch the stunning. Look at all the movement on this defensive line back here. See all of this crossing around, not letting them sit there and just drill you in the mouth and push you out of there. I mean, now you've got a Cal offense that just no rhythm at all.
First 10 plays for the Golden Bears, they had 87 yards the last 8 plays. They've only picked up 14, and now they face another 3rd and long. 3-man rush. Riley dumps it underneath, and Sylvester is right there again as Shane Vereen takes the little check down. They had 2 guys rushing and 1 guy as a spy. They dropped 8, basically is dropping 8.5.
So 9 plays and 16 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, this is really a defense that's seeing the game. And they're feeling the screens, they're seeing underneath, and 3rd and long is just not working for Kevin Riley.
Anger will punt to Smithson, who's averaged 12 yards a return this year. He waits at his own 25. Pressure did not get there. May have tipped it. And it will roll dead inside the 44-yard line. 26-yard punt. Let's check in with Heather.
Mike, thanks so much. After being a Heisman hopeful, Javid Best has been out for the last 7 weeks following a concussion. Javid, where are you physically, and what kept you out of playing in this game?
Right now, I'm doing a lot better than I'm supposed to be doing physically. I mean, I'm running. I'm doing almost everything I can before the injury, and I'm almost 100%, but because the game was so close, I didn't have time to get back on the practice field, so I wasn't able to play.
Meanwhile, the rumors have been rampant about whether or not you are declaring for the NFL draft. What decision have you made about declaring?
I haven't made a decision yet. Right now, I'm still kind of on the fence, and after the season, I'm going to sit down with my parents and coaches and decide what's best for me.
Because there's a chance you might not be coming back. Just how emotional is tonight's game, knowing it could be your last?
It's real emotional. I mean, anytime that you get to a bowl game, you must get a win in order to get the ball rolling for the next season. So this game is real important.
And in your absence, Shane Breen has been phenomenal. How have you been coaching him about that there?
I've just been telling him to do what he's always been doing. I mean, in practice, when me and him were out there, we'd both be making big plays. And I said, now you got the stage, so just go out there and keep doing what you do.
I know you've been frustrated. Best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice job, Heather, and a nice young man job at best. We certainly hope he recovers completely. This is Reed, and Reed with plenty of yardage for a first down to the 39, 17-yard gain. And Javid Best really helped rewrite the Cal record book, and just think what he could do with one more year. Already number one with 200-yard games or better, and all-purpose yards over 4,000.
Yeah, that to me is the Sunday stuff you look at. You know, the ability to do more than just run the football.
Yeah.
And what a smile. Great job, Heather. That was a good interview. I mean, the guy's got you can tell he's got a good heart.
And he did that in about 2 2/3 years. Nice play fake. And Brooks will make the catch to the outside, steps out of bounds after he gains about 7 yards. Well, Utah, they may have started slowly, but they found some rhythm here, haven't they?
It's all about rhythm, and you're starting to see this Utah offense that spreads teams out and uses the entire field, and they're seeing it better. And yeah, it's just a different feel in that first quarter.
Well, Kyle Whittingham hasn't won 46 games by accident. And this was an offense that they have pretty much kept intact since the days of Urban Meyer. When he left to go to Florida, Kyle Whittingham, who's been a lifer, a defensive coordinator for this club, defensive line coach, takes over as the head coach, and nothing changes.
Well, and since the inception of the BCS, 98, they've got the most wins against automatic qualifiers, the big BCS schools, at 18, tied with Navy. So they're used to beating the big ones.
And they think they belong as one of those automatic qualifiers. That's one of the big controversies in college football. Win again under pressure, and we'll get this one complete. And once again, it's David Reed. That's his 4th grab and his 79th of the season. Only needs 2 more for a new school record.
Well, Jordan Wynn's settling in, and now he's seeing the field. He's finding folks. Only 3 rushing. Cal's got to get to win. They've got to pressure him. And if they're going to drop 8, they certainly need to go match up and cover in the secondary.
Another impressive drive for Utah. Shakareen is checked back into the ball game. He can't get anywhere. Back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 15.
How about this now? Now, Mike, Shakareen carries the ball from Shaky. Snap to Shaky, hand to Shakareen.
Well, they had Matt Asiata to run the Wildcat formation. He was hurt earlier this year, so they went to Shaky Smithson, and they nicknamed it the Shaky formation. That would scare you a little bit if you're going to call it the Shaky formation. Wynn back in there at quarterback. 4-man rush, pressure. Wynn going in the wrong direction and able to get rid of it. He was all the way back at the 35-yard line being chased by Cameron Jordan.
Yeah, but then that just tells you, though, the freshman, he's settled into this game, and now he's feeling it, seeing it. He didn't, Wynn didn't try to keep scrambling and run away. He knew immediately, I've got to throw this ball away to preserve life and yards.
That was one of those rare 20-yard drops. How many steps is that? Oh. Third and 10. 5 wide receivers. Blitz coming. Wynn hangs in there over the middle. Touchdown! It's the tight end, Moiai, the tight end with his second touchdown of the year, both in this game, and what a throw by Jordan Wynn.
Oh, man, I'm telling you, this youngster has really thrown two great touch passes to Moiai, the tight end, and the defender there. But he doesn't have his eyes around to see the football.
That's Muhammad, the outstanding inside linebacker, and that ball just whistled past his head. In this quarter, Utah has really turned it around. They have piled up 116 yards to only 3 for the Golden Bears. What a turnaround for Wynn and the Utes offense. They have racked up a ton of yards and 17 points here in the second quarter. Or 17 points since they fell behind 14-0. So Felly a yard deep. And we go back to the studio, check in with John. Thank you, John. We have 4:53 to go here in the first half of the Poinsettia Bowl. Cal takes over at the 20-yard line. And Vereen up to about the 24 before he's turned back.
We had said coming into this game that Cal's offense, if they're doing well and scoring points, they win games. You know, in their 8 wins, they'd scored 40. And clearly they started out nice, but 8 yards in the second quarter.
Really been shut down. Vereen, the tailback, delay. And he's just swallowed up in the backfield. He never had a chance. Koamisi, who is 6'3", 263 pounds, and has the speed to drop as a linebacker as well as a defensive end. Diagnosed that one perfect.
Well, watch here. Here's a little run blitz. Watch the two coming in there, getting to the line of scrimmage, crowding it, overmanning, overpowering Cal's offensive line. Now, at some point, with all those Utah bodies up in there, that single coverage on the outside, Kevin Riley on 2nd and 1st down has to make a play down the field.
Riley is seen more as a manager as a quarterback rather than somebody who is going to lead you the entire way. He needs to be better than that tonight. And Vereen Tucker was just crushed by Robert Johnson and couldn't hold on to that pass.
Now,
I don't know anybody who's going to hold on to that one.
You know what? Now, this is important to watch. In the middle of the field, the defender leading with his shoulder, not his head. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not using that helmet to lead with, because we've seen a lot of plays this year, like from Taylor Mays at USC, that it's a borderline, right? Close to a blow to the head, but a legal hard play by the safety.
Boy, what a shot. And they'll have to punt it away. Smithson wrapped up at the 28 and dropped at the 26. Tremendous coverage by DJ Campbell for Cal. Tucker being talked to on the sideline, and you just wonder what that young man was thinking. He just got leveled, depleted. Utah takes over at its own 28. They haven't been stopped the last 3 times they've had the ball. Eddie wide. That's his best run of the night, up to the 34. Let's check in with Heather.
Mike, I'm joined by Mike Stoops, who flew in about an hour ago with his Arizona Wildcats, playing the Holiday Bowl on the 30th. Now, you play Nebraska, and football's such a small world. You and Bo Pelini, Nebraska's head coach, actually went to the same high school, grew up in Ohio, both Gophers for Hayden Fry. How do you plan to one-up your friend and come away with the win?
Well, it's going to be tough. They got a great football team, great tradition at Nebraska, and it's going to be a tough game. Both teams have played consistent all year. When you look at the schedules, we've lost some tough games, but we've won some big games as well. They're a very complete football team.
Now, coming out of the Pac-10, you're obviously very familiar with Cal and familiar with its ups and downs. When they're up, what makes Cal so tough?
Well, they're very explosive. I think they're very athletic when you watch Cal. That's the thing that really jumps off the screen, their ability at their skill positions to run defensively. They've been difficult to run the ball against. We weren't able to run the ball very good. We had a tough day against Cal, moving the football, and then obviously they have Shane Vereen's a great runner.
Now, the Mountain West looking for that automatic qualifier in the BCS. In your mind, how would they stack up day in, day out in the Pac-10?
Well, obviously the top half of the Mountain West, when you look at Utah, BYU, TCU, those teams they've shown over many years that they can compete with the best teams from BCS conferences. So I would be in favor of them. I've competed against all those teams since I've been out here in the West, and they're very complete teams.
Mike, thanks so much for joining us. I know you're enjoying actually watching a football game for the first time in a long time. Have fun in San Diego.
It's fun to be here. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck in your ball game. Thank you, Heather. Nice job.
Yeah, it'll be fun next week. I get a chance to watch that game. Come back out here next Wednesday.
You'll be back here when it's warm.
Nope.
Win, little shovel pass to Wide. Gaping hole for Eddie Wide. Tripped up as he got to the 30-yard line. Saving tackle by Sean Cattouse. It's the second time they've hit him with that little shovel pass and been able to get him a big gap to run through.
I'm going to try to show you how Cal's defense is out of position on this particular play. In the middle of the field, I think it's right here. You've got your linebacker that gets lost on the inside, and so you've got this gaping hole over here. Cal's defense is playing, they're playing on their heels. They're not downhill anymore on their toes.
Jordan Wynn is now 14 out of 20 for 204 yards in the first half. Certainly didn't start that well, did he?
No, he didn't. I mean, and remember he had that interception, the pick six, and we thought, okay, here's a freshman. Is he going to go in the tank? He's somewhere in the neighborhood. Before, I can't remember what he's done here now, but he's 12 of 15 since then, 156 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he did not melt under pressure.
No, he didn't. And a true freshman who came to school in January after graduating early. So many guys trying to do that now. There's a flag down at the end of that play, and it looked like Devin Bishop, the linebacker, may have been guilty of a little hold or a little interference. We'll see which.
Pass interference. Defense, number 10. That penalty is at the spot of the foul, and an automatic first down.
And that is the 6'1" senior linebacker.
10, Devin Bishop. I don't know.
Not much.
I didn't see that. Bishop might have had his hand, though, on the shoulder patch from behind him. That angle didn't give us the view from it.
No. And you can touch a receiver.
Oh, yeah?
You just can't. Well, maybe not. Good point. By the book, you can touch him. You just can't jerk him out of position. Otherwise,
he had that right hand on that shoulder from behind. Great job. Good call.
First down at the 21. 47 seconds to go in the half. Wynn trying to put more points on the board. Cal rushing 3 and wide open. Touchdown to Jeremy Brooks. He ran a post and there was nobody home. Well, that was too easy, wasn't it?
And Cal rushes 3, so they've got the pass protection. Sean Cattouse, the safety, number 11, has to stay on the inside of that. Nobody to help him. You're dropping 8 again. I'm just telling you, they're not seeing the game now.
If they rush 3, you wonder where the other 8 were. Perfect throw by Wynn. And what a turnaround by Utah. They were down 14-0 first quarter. It looked like Cal might blow them out of here, but they have scored 24 unanswered. You said coming into this game that they play with a chip on their shoulder. People from their conference play with a chip on their shoulder. We saw it last night with BYU. We're seeing it tonight with Utah.
They're good players, and Mike Stoops just told Heather that. This is a good football team. They've won 8 straight bowl games. They have a plan for how they prepare for the bowl games, and they use the platform. But when you look at the play and how it develops, the 3 rushers, there's going to be a level of 5 that are across the middle level, and then on the backside deep there, you've got to have somebody that stays on the inside. You got to have somebody that matches regardless of the call. The secondary, the linebacker level, we've seen throughout the game that they're not matching up with receivers.
Utah in its first 3 possessions in this game had only 10 plays and 47 yards. In the last 4 possessions, they've run off 32 plays, racked up 210 yards, and scored 24 points.
You know what? I tell you what, when you drop 8, how can you be that open? At the end of the day, whatever the coverage was, it was a blown coverage, and they didn't do a job.
Great question. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN Saturday. We have 3 games first. At 1 Eastern, the Thundering Herd of Marshall against the Ohio Bobcats in the Little Caesars Bowl. Then at 4:30, Pittsburgh takes on North Carolina in the Meineke Car Care Bowl. And at 8, the Boston College Eagles against the USC Trojans in the Emerald Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN360.com Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see how USC responds, because we saw them late in the year and they got to the point where they just looked disinterested. And once again, a tremendous collision. Same guy, Robert Johnson out of South Central in L.A. Varan Tucker drilled again. Tucker's going to go back to the huddle and say, would you stop calling that pattern?
Or he's going to figure out, I'm going to get hit. I'm going to go ahead and hold on to it. But Robert Johnson saying, not in my house. You're not coming in here in this territory. Robert Johnson, 12 career interceptions, and the coaches say that he covers a lot of ground.
All conference. Well, he sure hits when he gets there. 2-man rush this time. And nowhere to throw but underneath. That's going to be a catch for about 2 yards. And a nice grab by Anthony Miller, who is basically their pass-catching tight end of the 4 that play.
Wow, how does he catch this ball? Anthony Miller, 6'3", and he keeps working, goes up with one hand. What a catch. How do we to pick your quarterback up? I mean, he
pretty
dropped
good hands
before.
There. Of course, it was only for 2 yards. So you've got a third that was for 12. So you do have a first down, but only 27 seconds to go in the half. Pump fake in the out, incomplete.
And you know what? When you're at this point here, the tempo, getting up, making plays, moving down the field, Jeff Tedford's got to go in and somehow make the adjustment offensively to get their motor going.
Yeah.
It's just not there. And Utah didn't have a motor in the first quarter, and their coordinator goes out. Dave Schramm says, look, let's pick the tempo up here, go to the line of scrimmage and hustle, get in the game.
They made the change and it worked. See if Riley can do anything in the last 22 seconds. Gets the completion to Loggeman. Be another first down, and we'll stop the clock at the 18-second mark.
And with 2 timeouts, you can go to any part of the field here. You can do what you want to, but there's plenty of time for them to get down with a chance to kick a field goal.
Yeah.
That D coordinator there, Kalani Sataki, I think a great interviewer too. Excited, you know, gives you all the information you need.
Blitz coming. And a good job by Riley just to get rid of it. Now down to 13 seconds. I thought that was a nice call by the Cal defense. They're not going to let him sit back there, make him throw it in a hurry.
They're mixing it up well. Sataki's one of those guys that just absolutely, when he's out there, he's got that player mindset about it. You just feel like you're playing with one of your guys out there.
2nd and 10 with 13 seconds left. Another blitz. And this time they got there. Silver Sealinga, number 98, came up the middle as they brought an extra rusher, and Cal didn't pick it up. Sealinga turned out to be the guy that was free, and he made the stop.
Look at the hands of the defenders, the rushers. Look at their hands, how the defense now is using them to shed blockers and get to the ball. That was non-existent in the first quarter.
And that's it. The half will end on another up note for Utah, and they had a lot of them after the end of the first quarter. Utah had totally dominated the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. Let's check in with Heather.
Thanks so much, Coach. After an early interception in the first quarter, Jordan Wynn, your freshman quarterback, has been very efficient. How did you help him keep his head in the game?
Well, that's just the nature of Jordan Wynn. He's very calm, composed, nothing bothers him. And, it was a bad decision to make that first throw, but he came back and has responded very well.
Now, I know your offense has certainly helped your defense, but after giving up 14 points in the first quarter, what defensive adjustments did you make?
Well, we only gave up 7. The one was a pick 6. And so, it was 7 points on a short field. And other than that, the defense has played very well.
Coach, thank you. We'll let you get to the locker room.
Heather, thank you. Our score at halftime, Utah 24, Cal 14. Now we send you to John Saunders for the Cars.com halftime report.
Alongside of Ed Cunningham and Jesse Palmer, and it is the Cars.com halftime report. All right, 24 consecutive points scored by Utah. That's really the story. But early on, a lot of people talking about replacing Javid Best, and they did a nice job, Cal did, running the ball.
Yeah, and it's looking to me like Shane Vereen is going to be the guy that they're going to have to ride here in the second half. Kevin Riley not able to get into a rrhythm. There at the end, you saw the pressure was just absolutely impossible to overcome. So when you see the explosive power of a guy like Shane Vereen, they're going to have to go. But, Jesse, this is starting to feel a lot like last night's game where the Pac-10 team seems disinterested. They just don't seem like they want to be there. And to me, this game, it might get away if they don't start getting a little more focus.
And I'm very impressed with the play of Utah true freshman quarterback Jordan Wynn. Throws a pick 6 early in this game, but he keeps his composure. He fights back. 15 of 21, 225 yards, 3 touchdown passes, showing great resiliency. And I'm very impressed with him watching the way he plays the game. He's getting through his progressions. He's doing a great job using his eyes to look defenders off. He's getting outside of the pocket to extend plays. Great poise and composure by Utah's true freshman quarterback. Very impressive.
24-14 is the score at half. Second half still to come. But while we're here on the Cars.com halftime report, we are going to look ahead to the Hawaii Bowl. June Jones makes his return. And meanwhile, we'll also take a look at the Rose Bowl. There's some players going to be missing for the Buckeyes.
Welcome back to the 2009 Poinsettia Bowl presented by the San Diego County Credit Union. We are at the half with Utah leading California 24-14. Hi, everybody. We told you it is cold in San Diego, especially after the sun went down. It's getting a little chilly. It's got to be getting a little chilly for Cal, too. They had such a great start. They were up 14-0, and then the roof fell in.
Well, I think what's interesting is, statistically, in their 4 losses, Cal's secondary allowed the opposing quarterback to complete 73% of their passes. What is tonight?
They're on target.
Jordan Wynn, 71.4%. And he's a freshman quarterback. And I think that's the real difference in this football game is that Cal hasn't taken advantage other than the 1 pick 6 in the ball game. I think Cal's offense, in order for this football team to get back in it, they've got to make the completion. When the ball's there, the chance is there, they have to do it. That's what Jordan Wynn and his team have done. A couple of nice throws by Wynn down the field. The secondary has allowed receivers to come open. But at the end of the day, Utah's finishing the plays, and Cal has not.
Utah certainly playing with more intensity in the second quarter. as they rebounded from what had happened to them earlier in the ball game. The rushing advantage goes to Cal, but it hasn't done them a whole lot of good because they have only passed for 47 yards.
That's 122 yards. That's, I mean, that statistic goes right alongside all of the other losses that Cal has had this season.
Well, they'll get the ball first. E.C. Sofale gets it back to the 25-yard line, and Kevin Riley, the junior quarterback, will start from there.
Yeah, and I go back to what Heather in her interview with Coach Whittingham going in at halftime, and he said, his defense really hadn't played that bad, and they made some adjustments. They started getting off blocks. They played with a better tempo.
They did,
as did their offensive teammates.
Well, they knew coming into this game that Riley was going to face a lot of man press coverage. It was going to be a big challenge for him. And it will be in the second half because Utah is not going to change what they do. Riley back to throw, forced out of the pocket, throws on the run and throws short to Tucker. And Tucker back to the line of scrimmage. Let's check in with Heather.
Some notes from the Cal locker room. I talked to Coach Tedford, who's very frustrated with the amount of big plays that Cal's giving up. He said, we've got to do a better job wrapping up on tackles and pressuring the passer. Now, offensively, Cal wants to stay balanced. They said Utah's blitzing Cal's run formations, but they need to stay with the run more often, not bail out of it quite so much. Also do a better job protecting the passer, guys.
All right, Heather, and I know they'd like to bust Shane Vereen for a couple of big runs. This is Tucker coming back in motion. Vereen trying to get off the right side, reverses his field. Could not get out of the backfield, and boy, that Utah defensive line really doing the job. Folks who was in on that one.
Well, Heather, just to support what you're saying and what you were told, Utah's defense 9 up in there that time, right? And we've seen that several times in this game. And the run blitzing that they're talking about, when you've got a running down and you've got a formation with that tendency, they're run blitzing. Linebackers are coming up into the lane, forcing it.
You're just telling the quarterback, son, you're the one that's going to have to beat us.
Yeah, and the trend has been rush 3, drop 8, and Utah's found the receivers for Cal.
Come with a 4-man rush. Underneath and incomplete. Nice job by Chapman, who is normally the nickelback. He was in there on that down, and he guessed on the route and guessed right.
Cal's going to have to change the tempo of the game at the line of scrimmage. Hurry up offense, 2-minute offense, whatever you want to call it. As Utah did at the end of the first quarter with their offense, they changed their luck.
Anger to punt. Smithson waits at his 32-yard line. So Utah should have good field position again for their first possession. Poor kick. Low and short. So short, Smithson can't get up on it, but it's out of bounds after a 37-yard punt at the 39-yard line. Now, this is a good night right now for the Mountain West Conference as they have done their job against the Pac-10, and the Mountain West got off to a great start. Wyoming over Fresno State. BYU thumped Oregon State last night in a very impressive game. And this would be the third of 5 Mountain West representatives playing in the bowl season.
I don't know. We visiting with these players and coaches that you get the feeling that they really have sent the memo around to their bowl participants. Hey, suck it up, buddies. Let's do this for the conference.
Absolutely. Wynn goes underneath to Reed, and Reed taking it out at the 41-yard line. The thing about it is if they are going to become an automatic bowl qualifier, either you have to divvy up that big pot of gold in more slices, or you have to get rid of somebody else.
I think that Congress is in there now trying to help them make a decision to end the existing system. And you got the Big Ten with their conversations here in the last month that's saying they're going to expand, which is putting pressure on the Pac-10 and other conferences to make sure they defend and grow if they need to.
Yep. Wynn goes out in the flat to Brooks. And Brooks, a couple of yards shy of a first down. Good block by Iona Key. a wide receiver on the outside to spring Brooks for a couple of extra yards.
Yeah, John Field had a nice block out there. A great job execution on the wide receiver screen. But this offense and this team, when they were down 14-0, they never panicked and just are executing and not getting frustrated when they don't get the big 5-yard gains.
And they're doing it without any running game to speak of. Shaky Smithson in. He takes the direct snap and hands off to Eddie Wide, and Wide goes straight up the middle. Eddie Wide was number 1 in the Mountain West Conference this year with 1,032 yards coming in.
You mentioned there's no running game to speak of, but man, I tell you what, when they get to the line this time, they are getting after it. The offensive line is starting to not only get on their men, but you can see them unleashing those hips, and they're starting to drive, and they're pushing the bigger Cal defensive line.
10 yards on that carry and another first down. They'll start this series from the Cal 42-yard line. Smithson stays in there. Flags are down, and Shaky's going to throw the ball, and it's going to be a touchdown, but we'll have to check the flags. Reed was the open receiver, made the catch. Now we check the marker. Wasn't a bad throw by Smithson.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. That is a 5-yard penalty.
Yep.
Remains first down.
He had 5 guys off the line of scrimmage.
How many play in the unit at the same time? 11.
11.
You got to have how many up there?
Yeah, you got to have 4 in the backfield.
That doesn't add up.
No.
Any math department you've gone to. You try to play with the numbers, fuzzy math, whatever you want to bring back.
Yeah.
It wasn't enough up there.
Well, that one had failure written all over it as soon as the flags came down. Smithson is going to take the direct snap and take off again. And he'll lose maybe a half a yard. Good pursuit by Kendrick Payne, number 96.
Little ball coming out here. You've got the little wildcat formation to start the third quarter. You've got a little razzle-dazzle pass down the field.
They're certainly not going to be classified as conservative offensively. Never have. Wynn comes back in. 4-man rush for Cal. Wynn dumps it underneath, complete to Wide. And Wide back almost to the original line of scrimmage where Michael Kendricks makes the tackle.
And evaluating a freshman quarterback, 2nd and 15. Don't force the ball down the field and throw a pick, right? In the third quarter. Get it, chip away, get the third and somewhat manageable, and then you can punt the football, field position. So I'm impressed with the young man.
Well, I am too, especially after he threw that pick 6. He has done a great job since. 3rd and 10. Blitz coming. Wynn flushed and just throws it away. Those are the decisions he has made that I think have made the difference tonight. He played here a couple of times in the 2008 high school finals, 2007 tournament. Played very, very well on this field here at Qualcomm Stadium. Grew up in Oceanside, which is San Diego's suburb.
We thought he might come in here a little, maybe pressing somewhat in front of his friends and all, but he's done anything but that. After the pick 6, really settled down.
Ross is deep for the punt. End-over-end kick, and Ross makes a cardinal error for a kick returner. He was standing at the 5, backpedaled, and made that catch. Cal backed up all the way to its 5-yard line to start this series, down 24-14 third quarter. And you can just see the confidence growing on the Utah sideline every time they come out either on offense or defense. Vereen trying to get to the outside will pick up about 7. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow night. June Jones returns to the Islands with his SMU Mustangs against a great Nevada Wolfpack offense in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN360.com tomorrow night at 8 Eastern. The first trip back for June Jones, who did such a great job at Hawaii when he was the head coach there. And for SMU, a time to celebrate that first bowl game since 1984. They also had 7 wins this year, the most since 1984. Cal trying to establish that ground game and grind something out a little bit. And Dabosky Johnson is in for the first time. He's number 28.
I've received from all of my SMU friends a lot of photos this week. They've been over enjoying the Hawaiian Islands.
It's warmer there, isn't it?
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, you showed up today with your cold body.
I have turned weenie on you tonight. I came out here expecting 75 degrees, and I didn't get it. Third and about 2. Riley's going to have to throw for it, and that was a poor pass. He had Brian Holly, his fullback, wide open in the flat. It was a good call, and they didn't execute.
Well, it is, Mike, you're right. It is the right call, and why is it the right call? They have 9 men up. It's third and short. There are 9 guys there. Throw the football. You've got to make them defend the football field. Don't play in a box. Now, Riley's got to get his feet around, and he's got to get the ball out there. But this offense has been so bad. Now, 3 drives now, the last 5 drives, 2 first downs.
Amazing. Smithson to the 44. Great coverage by Cal. Again, a loss of 1 on the punt of 43 yards. We are back at the Poinsettia Bowl. We will tell you more about this shipboard experience in a moment. Utah takes over at its own 44-yard line. Win with a screen. Eddie Wide taken down.
Awesome.
My partner
day.
had a great experience. Explain your patch.
USS Macon Island. The crew was outstanding yesterday. This ship is fantastic. I had a great time on there. They were friendly. They made a good point about this. You've got a deal where 1% of the country defends 300 million people. That's 3 million of them, men and women that are just out there doing it, putting it on the line day in and day out. And this ship, this particular deal, they sailed it from the East Coast down around South America all the way up into where it is now at its home base in San Diego. And the technology on this ship saved them $2 million versus the traditional fuel cost of a ship to do that same route. So it's fuel efficient. It was awesome. I had a great time. Really enjoyed seeing everybody.
Good. And we want to wish all our service members a happy holiday. It's a very difficult time to be away from the people that you care about at this time of year particularly, and they do so much for us, and they do it so willingly, and our thoughts and prayers go out to them for a happy and safe holiday, as well as everybody watching tonight. We wish you the most wonderful of Christmases. This is supposed to be a time of where you build wonderful memories, and we hope that happens with you and your family this year. Shakareen with a chance to run. Sauson Shakareen, a redshirt freshman, 6'2", 225. He's in the all-name team no matter what.
Well, he is.
Permanently.
Absolutely in the bowl season for sure. I like it.
Oh, and I'm so impressed by the Utes, what they have done. I mean, they look like you could have been left for dead down 14-0.
We were wisecracking up here like, oh boy, empty the bucket. Here comes one of those games.
Yeah. They had other ideas. Shakareen bounces it outside, can't get away, and is taken down at the line of scrimmage by Michael Kendricks.
Yeah, and it's the Mountain West Conference again that's on display here tonight. And after last night with BYU thumping Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl, you would have thought that Cal would have shown up. I don't see the passion right now from that defense.
No,
I don't see them flying around.
Win on 2nd and 11 from the Cal 35. They got to him this time. They'll lose a couple of yards. And good pressure from Michael Kendricks, the outside linebacker who was coming on the pass rush.
Yeah, that was an effort. That's that front four up there. Only 4 rushing, jumping and thumping to get to the quarterback. We haven't seen a lot of pressures and sacks on the young freshman quarterback. They just have not been able to get to him. And that's just delivering a blow. An outstanding job of getting into the backfield and making a play by Kendricks.
3rd and 12. And that Cal defense has to stand tall here because Utah, a couple of more scores, and this one will be over. Excellent time, excellent throw. It's going to be about a half-yard shy of a first down. If Jeremy Brooks made the catch, his 5th of the night.
Mike, look at Utah's offense, though. Get right to the ball in anticipation that maybe we're going to go for it like they did earlier in the game on a critical 4th and about this distance.
And they are going to go. Eddie Wide is the running back, and he will get the carry. And Eddie Wide, I don't know. They come in and mark it. It looks like it's about a football length short. This would be huge for California if they can turn it over on downs here and get the ball back. And they obviously think they've done just that.
And they learned from the previous time that Utah did that, didn't they? They got out there and they got set.
Once again, you've got Jordan Wynn with what looks for all the world like a read option, but it's not because he's never going to keep it.
Keep it once, right?
Well, he's only run the ball 17 times all year.
Let's go 18. Pull it and run around it.
Cal takes over on down. Still down by 10, but that might be a boost. Welcome back to the 2009 Poinsettia Bowl presented by the San Diego County Credit Union. 24-14, the Utes of Utah over the California Golden Bears with 4:26 to go third quarter. Cal has just taken over on downs. And Kevin Riley to the shotgun. Almost intercepted. Boy, he stared down Tucker. That was nearly disaster. Let's go to Heather.
Guys, Cal's demeanor changed dramatically during its last defensive stand. Now, out of the locker room at half, Cal's entire team gathered to start the third quarter with a huge team cheer. But since then, I've been watching them, and the team was very lackluster until this last series. On 3rd and 12, the entire bench, who was all sitting down, stood up urging the defense to hold the Utes. Same thing on 4th and 1, and it worked, and this energy seems contagious down here.
Heather, they almost had a team groan on that last one. That could have easily been a pick 6. Floated over the middle and dropped. Perfect throw to Anthony Miller, and he couldn't hold it. Well, you can't blame Riley for that. That was a great throw.
You know, I drew the 9 on there right before the snap, and you could see that they had 9 up. The pass has to be there. Check out of it, throw the football. One play, it's Riley not making a throw. The next time, then it's a receiver dropping a ball. This offense, you know, Heather, you mentioned the demeanor. It's a lack of just focus and execution. They're just not there, and it's really obvious how poor this offense has played.
It's been 3 and out on 4 of the last 5 possessions. Now it's 3rd and 10. Pressure coming. Loose ball. Utah football. Recovered by Mike Wright, the middle linebacker. It was knocked away by Lamar Chapman. Well, so much for momentum after you turn them over on downs.
Mike, what's the cost? What's the price of dropping a pass, of not making a completion? It's the next play. It's a turnover.
You're right.
It could be the ball game. You never know which play and lack of loses a game for you. And this time here, Utah rushes 5. They dropped 6 into coverage. It gave a different look for Riley. He'd been seeing 3 rush, 8 drop, and they changed up their look.
Utah with a chance to do some damage here. Eddie White on the handoff from Smithson in the Wildcat formation. We have seen Smithson throw once. It was a touchdown, but it was called back. At least with Smithson in there in the Wildcat, there might be the threat of a run.
So what you're saying is fake it to that fullback inside, pull the ball around. Okay. We're going to watch that.
I mean, isn't that a good, don't you think that's a good idea?
Looks good to me up here.
Well, we'll have to wait because Wynn is back in at quarterback. I mean, it would certainly surprise Cal, you would think. Wynn, with only 3 men rushing, all day to throw, and throws it away.
Now, this Cal defense, they're trying to hang in there and keep their football team in there. They can play as hard as they want and get the ball back. If they can hold them to 3 here, obviously it keeps it within a 2-touchdown margin, which would be a major win for them. But at some point, Kevin Riley and that Cal offense, they've got to come on and play.
5 wide receiver set. Cal showing blitz. They come with pressure. Wynn over the middle to the goal line. Incomplete. Sidquan Thompson broke it up. It was intended for Reed. Looked like he had it momentarily, but Thompson was there. The all Pac-10 corner.
So the Cal defense does their job, forcing an attempt at a 3-pointer, don't they? Though I mean, that's a nice job.
This will be a 29-yard field goal try by Phillips, who's already hit from 28. It would still be a 2-touchdown spread.
Phillips' 29-yard field goal is good.
27 unanswered points, 27-14. Let's see what's up with John Saunders. John?
Well, Mike Patrick, I know you're gearing up for college basketball season, so I want to give you a little taste here. Missouri facing Illinois, and as you can see, the Tigers with a 9-point lead as they close down towards the end of the first half. That game can be seen on ESPN2 and ESPN 360. Now, back to you and Mr. James.
Hoops, John. Nothing better than hoops.
Hey, I keep waiting for Saunders. I keep waiting for you, buddy, to send me a text message busting me for getting on you about your hockey. But I figured you're up there and you don't want to mess with that. Your hands must be too cold to send a text message.
Cal, in those last 6 drives, 18 yards in 6 drives. And Utah has made no secret of what they're doing. They're going to stop the running game and say the only way you're going to beat us is to throw the ball against man-to-man coverage, and California's not been able to do it.
Now, a buddy of mine who's a coach in college football sent me a text about 4 or 5 series ago, and he goes, you think Cal will ever check out of this 9-man box and throw the football?
Sofele on the return and up to the 22-yard line. Let's take a look at the upcoming Capital One Bowl Week schedule. On Christmas Eve, we have Nevada and SMU, the return to the islands by June Jones. Then the Little Caesars Bowl, Marshall and Ohio on the 26th, along with the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Pitt, North Carolina, that should be fun to watch. And the Emerald Bowl in San Francisco, BC and USC, and then down to the Gaylord Music City Bowl with Kentucky and Clemson. Vereen with a nice carry out to the 44-yard line. And that's good news for Cal.
Yeah, Anthony Miller, number 80, trying to make up the tight end over on the right side. Watch him come to the inside, and that there's against an 8-man front, and they were able to run the football. It just got after him and busted him. But you can't throw it and catch it, so you may have to keep running it.
Yeah. Vereen, very, very slow to get up. He came into this game with knee and ankle injuries that have bothered him the last couple of weeks. Five-man rush against Riley. There's Miller, the tight end, the same pattern, the same throw that he dropped before, and that was a perfect strike again by Riley, and this time Miller caught it.
Yeah, and Miller's on the right side, so you've got an aggressive up front there. You see Riley step up, throw the ball, and you knew for a fact Anthony Miller was not going to drop that pass. Not again. Tight ends are tough. He wasn't going to let that happen again.
You drop two of those, you might as well just keep going.
Well, or either get out and play wide receiver.
Yeah. Now under center is Riley. And he's got to use the timeout, and Cal may need those a little bit later in this ball game. You hate to see him burn one here in the third quarter.
But you make a big play, and you got to call a timeout because you've got the wrong personnel. You've got guys on the wrong side of the field.
Jeremiah Masoli leads the Pac-10 champion Ducks against Terrell Pryor and the Buckeyes in the granddaddy of them all. The 2010 Rose Bowl presented by Citi. Number 8 Ohio State, number 7 Oregon. Coverage starts New Year's Day at 4:30 Eastern on ABC. The Rose Bowl lives here. Boy, Masoli, I thought was the guy who was the most overlooked in the Theismann race.
All right. Well, the miscues here we've been talking about a little bit, and just the little things, the drops, the could-have-beens, the fumble that happened after that drop that led to a field goal, and just poor execution.
Here comes pressure. It's everybody meet at the quarterback, and down goes Riley. Keppa Geisen and Dave Kruger got there. Keppa Geisen may have had the most unusual road to become a linebacker in the history of college football. He walked on this team as a punter. And they said, well, you're not that great a punter. But you know what? You've got some athletic ability, so let's make you a linebacker.
But with hair like that, he couldn't be a punter.
True. But he's been a real good linebacker for him. Blitz coming. Nice throw, nice catch by Tucker. Tucker, who had been creamed a couple of times on a post pattern, that time ran it perfectly, and a nice throw by Riley under pressure.
You're going to see 8 come up inside, and you're going to pressure the quarterback. You have to make these plays down the field, and it's in the middle of the field. You're okay. It's man-to-man, single coverage, make the play.
Tucker's looking, saying, where's Robert Johnson? Where is Robert Johnson? That guy that decleated me twice. Riley, pressure again, dumps him underneath. Vereen to the 1. Boy, nice reaction by Riley. The pressure was coming from Mike Wright, who made the tackle at the 1-yard line to save a touchdown.
And maybe the blood starts flowing from Kevin Riley. Watch how he buys just a little bit more time, and that extra amount of time to buy there was what allowed Vereen to get open and away from Mike Wright, number 20.
First and goal inside the 1. Vereen is the deep man. Holly is the fullback. Vereen, they want to go wide, and he'll walk in. Well, just when you thought that California wasn't going to be able to make any kind of a comeback, the defense stood tall twice in a row. Maybe that inspired the offense. The point after would make it a 6-point game. Vince D'Amato. knocks it through, and it's 27-21. That was a 77-yard drive in just 6 plays.
Well, and it's all the result of Cal finally, Kevin Riley specifically, taking advantage of a lot of pressure up front between the 8 and the 9-man front. Here on the screen, using his legs, buying the extra time, making that aggressive defense pay for it, with Vereen getting down to the 1-yard line, and then Anthony Miller, number 80, on the outside on the touchdown play. Comes in, seals off the inside, fullback makes his block, and that's the layup.
Plus, he got some help. Guys made some catches on that drive on balls they had dropped before. So Cal cuts it to 6. Their first score since they ran up 14 in a hurry in the first quarter.
Yeah, and now the adjustment now, Kalani Sitake, the defensive coordinator, he'll have to make the adjustment. Cal's feeling it over on the sidelines now. They got that little vibe going over there, right? There's Javid Best. He's working the guys, trying to get them fired up and in the game. So Sitake, the D coordinator at Utah, he may have to back off a little bit, change his pressure up.
Smithson and Christopher are deep. And Utah will have it around the 35 for Sports Center right now. Here's John Saunders. John. Well, boxing just gets stranger and stranger, doesn't it?
What happened to the days of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier?
Wynn sits in the pocket with good protection. Key makes the grab and picks up about 10. They got him right at the sticks.
Key does a nice little effort there at the end to get this first down. Again, that's a good play call by the offensive coordinator. I like Dave Schramm and the way he's responded every time he's had to. He's given Jordan Wynn a chance to be successful.
And Utah is just going to let the clock expire here in the third quarter. They'll go over and talk it over on the sideline and see what they want to do in the last 15 minutes. But they had all the momentum, and the Golden Bears of California have taken some back. It's 27-21. Welcome back to San Diego as Utah trying to come back from a 14-0 deficit, racked up 27 straight points. But after 2 solid defensive stands, Cal responded, and they have cut the lead to 27-21. Wynn, quick out to Reed, sidesteps the tackler, midfield, 40, 30, 20, and pushed out of bounds. Nice job by David Reed. 39-yard gain.
You know what? This is good execution. It's a missed tackle in open space. You've got to win the open space. Mountain West didn't look too bad against the Pac-10 in that open space battle, did they?
No, they didn't.
And Reed, a guy takes off that averages over 100 yards all-purpose. He's got the ability in open space, and that's a nice play there, making your quarterback's numbers look a lot better than they have been.
6 catches for 89 yards, and David Reed has set school records in both catches and yards with his performance tonight. For the end zone, tipped and incomplete. Reed was the intended receiver, and he was roughed up in the end zone. Cattouse knocked it away, and then Nabufi cleaned up Reed.
You know, we've heard along this year, the course of this season, and of course you worked with Theismann for a long time, throw to an open space. Wynn has to let this ball go just a little sooner because Reed was open. The ball was late getting to him that allowed the corner and the safety to get over to make plays on it. So just anticipate, know that's where the ball's got to be, and let it go.
And they are tending to Nabufi. Now he got the worst of that collision when he came down.
This pass defense this year has been disappointing. They're 108th in the country. And Nabufi was a guy that they really were hoping would come elbow, kind of scraped the face mask there. Delayed reaction.
And then fell awkwardly to boot. Wynn gives it to Wide. Kendricks makes the tackle. And I'll go back to my question before. Why would you respect that play action when you know what the end result's going to be? It's going to be a handoff.
Yeah, well, that time, maybe Devin Bishop, linebacker, might have been able to make a play. But I'd like at some point to see the quarterback pull it and make them respect it a little bit more.
3rd and 11. They'll spread the field again with 5 wide receivers. They bring Reed into the backfield. Flanker screen, pitch and catch Reed. Had his helmet knocked off, but hung on to the ball. Little hook and ladder in the backfield. How about that?
The hook and ladder on him. And I've seen Utah run this play before. I love it. Not enough teams in the country use it. What a great asset. Good timing, everything about it.
That's pretty. But they did not get the first down, so it will set up a field goal try. Phillips will try his 3rd short field goal of the ballgame. He's hit from 28 and 29. This is from 25. And he makes it a 2-score game again. The Utes on top of the Bears, 30-21. We have 13:05 to go in this ball game. Utah kicking to Cal. The Utes now with a 9-point lead, 30-21. Chris Conti, a defensive back on the return. And out of bounds around the 25-yard line.
And this one here, this goes again according to statistics. Kevin Riley, in their 4 losses this year, completed 44% of his passes, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. And the freshman Jordan Wynn, now a lot of that's been underneath, and we've got a distribution passing chart that we'll show you the next time they come out. But he's had some help, whereas Riley has had several drops.
Right.
They just not gotten any rhythm going in this game.
They'll need to find it in a hurry with only 12:59 to go in the ball game.
He looks so young, it looks like fake sideburns. You know, it's that peach fuzz sideburn look.
Fake the flanker around and give it to Vereen up the middle. He shakes a couple of tacklers and is across the 30 to about the 32-yard line.
Bowl season. Did this year go by fast?
In a heartbeat.
Now I've got hot coffee. I finally got cold, and
I see.
Broke me
now
down.
You're going. Now you're going to admit it.
You just no, I'm cold.
The power of suggestion. Fake to Vereen. Underthrown and incomplete, intended for Jones. Brandon Burton was with him there, step for step. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN tomorrow night. June Jones returns to Hawaii with SMU against a great Nevada Wolfpack offense. That's in the Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN360.com tomorrow night at 8 Eastern.
Yeah, you know what this does for SMU? First time in 25 years back to bowl. It's given SMU the extended practice time. You know,
which is something a lot of people overlook. Most coaches will tell you that's the most important thing about going to a bowl.
Absolutely. And so here they are out getting all these extra practices for those young players, letting them develop. And it just means so much. You see what it's meant to Utah, for example. I mean, they've won 8 straight bowl games. They've got a system down, and it just works. Congratulations to Chris Ault. College Football Hall of Fame, Chris Ault, for the head coach of Nevada. They're a good team. They went 8-1 down the backstretch.
First and 10 Cal. They need 2 scores. Drop it off to Marvin Jones, and Jones knocked out of bounds at around the 45-yard line by Stevenson Sylvester.
Yeah, there's a name. We haven't heard a lot about Stevenson Sylvester tonight, but big-time player and a leader of this football team. He, last year against Alabama, had a pretty good ball game in that Sugar Bowl.
Yes, he did. Vereen back in there at tailback. And he'll get the call. Plenty of red and white waiting on him, though. Take you back to the 1980 Holiday Bowl. Look at this. Craig James. Nice cut. Little speed for you, too. But back came Jim McMahon and BYU. Sorry to show you the end of this, partner, but you remember, don't you?
Do I remember it? It's a blow to the heart every time I watch it. They came back to beat us. You know what? I did not know until this week that Kyle Whittingham, Utah's head coach, was on that team. A linebacker, a leader, a captain.
Not just on the team, he had 16 tackles in the game.
When Kyle said that, hey, we did the research, 16 tackles. Now I know the guy that was trailing me downfield 15 yards making tackles. I wondered who was ripping the backside of my shirt.
And I'll bet you remember how many yards you had in that game.
225.
Yeah, I knew it.
So that's why I'm saying Kyle was trailing me.
Nobody was hitting you at the line of scrimmage too often, were they?
But he's got the last laugh. They beat us.
Clock running, 9:49 and counting. Riley pressured out of the pocket. They got him at the 49-yard line. Pressure coming from Junior Tuione.
And I think this is one of those real tough deals where you wanted to get to at least 4th and short where you could have gone for it for Jeff Tedford, right? And that Utah defense, after the first quarter, they really turned their game up.
Boy, 4th and 3 would really have to cross your mind, but they're going to send on the punting unit. Presumably the punt. And they do. Beautiful high kick. Smithson makes the catch at the 19. That may be interference with the fair catch. Jeremy Ross was right there. And that's a judgment call by the official.
Interference with the opportunity to make the catch. Number 15, kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the kick. Automatic. First down.
Didn't appear to be 15. It appeared to be Ross instead, but a penalty nonetheless. Back in a moment. Welcome back to San Diego, where Utah has taken over with 9:02 to go in the ball game, up leading 30-21. Good night for Jordan Wynn at quarterback. Throws underneath to Shaky Smithson, who was usually in there as a tailback or in a wildcat formation. That time they set him out to the side and completed the pass to him.
Hey, that USS Macon Island yesterday, at sunrise and sunset on these ships, they have a real formal process of raising the flag and bringing it down.
Yes, sir.
And you get a 5-minute horn that lets you know, or a bell, that get ready, stand by, pay attention. It's impressive.
Fake the flanker around, and Shaky is going to throw. Almost intercepted. That was up for grabs, intended for Iona Key. And Sidquan Thompson, who you're not going to fool very often, was back there on defense. But Shakey's got an arm, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he slipped a little bit on it, but he's given his guy a chance to go up and make a play for it. Sidquan Thompson has a little ankle issue coming into this game. They didn't even know if he would play, so tip of the cap to Thompson for playing with a little pain tonight.
I'm a little surprised up by 9 that they went with a play like that rather than working on the clock at all. Now they'll throw a little flanker screen to Brooks. And Brooks takes it down to the Cal 45-yard line. 7 catches tonight for Brooks, who came in with 49. Led this ball club with 6 touchdown catches this year.
Utah has won the wide receiver screen battle tonight.
Yeah, they have.
Done a nice job of calling it and executing it.
Yeah, the play calling, I think, has been very impressive tonight, don't you?
Yeah, you know what's interesting now, fun inside the game deal here is that you've got Andy Ludwig, the OC at Cal, who was for years at Utah. So all these guys know each other. It's been a lot of fun watching each other this week in the cat and mouse game.
Eddie Wide takes the direct snap, and he's not going to get close to a first down. So Wide running the Wildcat formation. And they'll have to send on the punt unit. Presumably, they're at the 45. There's no indication yet that they have made a decision.
Yeah, letting that clock run down and trying to chew up as much as they can.
Well, a 5-yard delay would not hurt them. It would only back it up to the 50-yard line and give Selwood a little more room if they choose to go that route. Jeremy Ross waits back at the 10. Nice kick by Selwood. And they'll down it at the 1. Elijah Weston down there to down it at the 1 after a punt of 44 yards. Nice kick by Selwood. And a 30-21 Utah lead with 6:42 to go.
Didn't need the extra 5 yards on that one, did they?
No, sure didn't. That was perfect. And happy holidays to you, sir. And is there anything better looking than a Marine dress uniform? That's about as sharp as it gets. Cal has 99 yards to go. This could be a free play for Riley. Down the sideline, incomplete off the hands of Jones, and another flag down. But it looked like Utah may have been offside, and then Utah again with maybe some pass interference.
Well, we got just a little break. I'm full of nuggets on that USS Macon Island. It's a high-tech transport for Marines.
There are 2 fouls on the play against the defense. Offside will be declined. Pass interference, number 25, is a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
And so it's just interesting how they have designed this. Going up down those stairs in the ship and the whole thing. It's impressive. Great people.
I don't think that there is anything more inspiring.
Before the ball is snapped, false start. Offense number 1, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
I don't think there's anything more inspiring for an American to be around these guys.
I was inspired yesterday.
Boy, look out from behind. I mean, that was Keppa Geisen, the former walk-on punter that just blew up Kevin Riley for his second sack.
And that's just a blown blocking assignment. You know, that's Cal, again, their offensive line that really is a strong group and a leader. We said they had to be good in this ball game. And I don't think the Cal offense in general has done what they had hoped they would do tonight.
Well, they've been challenged to throw the ball, and they haven't been that successful at it. 2nd and 21. Tough situation here for Riley. They have to throw out of his own end zone. The quick out. And they'll get out of bounds around the 13-yard line. Jones makes the grab, and that stops the clock at the 5:49 mark.
I go back, like we had mentioned early, Mike, in the opening to this game, and this is the Mountain West Conference. Again, trying to show their mettle, and they're standing with the big fellas.
And they're doing it in spades. Over the middle, tipped and intercepted. Sylvester to the goal line, touchdown. Robert Johnson may have been the guy who caused it, but Sylvester was the beneficiary, his first interception of the season.
100% on with that partner. Robert Johnson in the middle of the field earlier in the game, delivering a couple of vicious hits to these receivers. Just sent a message to them, fellas, you come across here, alligator arms were the order of the menu.
This is the number 20 defense in the country, averaging 314 yards a game given up. And they have certainly distinguished themselves tonight. Utah now has it 37-21 over the Cal Golden Bears. Welcome back to the Poinsettia Bowl in San Diego. It's 37-21. The Utah Utes fell behind 14-0 and then decided to come alive. And since then, they have crushed the Golden Bears of California. Good kick this time. Will drive it 5 yards deep, and Cal will have to start from the 20.
Go back to the interception for the touchdown. Robert Johnson, that is a leader back in that secondary. He has 12 career interceptions. He gives his buddy a chance to have one here. And Stevenson Sylvester, I mean, you know, being around the football, did you see how Johnson attacked the receiver, read the play, saw where the ball was going, went right immediately to it.
Survived the mean streets of South Central LA and has had a distinguished college career at Utah. Now Cal is going to need something of a miracle. Long pass. Johnson intercepted it. He's not having a bad ball game at all. Led the conference this year in interceptions with 5. That's his 6th of the season.
Well, I'm glad I got the 12 in before.
Yes, sir. Now he's got a baker's dozen, 13.
And I never understood that either, baker's dozen. But anyway, it's, yeah, great focus on the ball. He just plays the game. He knows the game, the instincts of it.
First and 10, Utah from the 39-yard line.
So the Utes couldn't ask for anything more right now. They have the ball at the Cal 39, leading by 16 points and time running out. Wise down to the 33-yard line. Wide took over the starting job when Matt Asiata was hurt in the 4th game and has come through with 1,032 yards coming into this one. His best 2 runs tonight were on little shovel passes, so they don't add to his total, but they were huge offensive plays anyway. And Kyle Whittingham well on his way to his 47th win and their 9th consecutive win in a bowl game. Wide again, tripped up in the backfield, taken down by Nabufi. And Tyson Alu came up.
Yeah, you know, we're having a little bit of a deliberation in the truck on the player of the game. There have been a couple of 3 here at Utah.
Who do you like?
Well, I think Robert Johnson. And
I was going to say the same thing.
Okay, good. Up here. Well,
which means you'll pick somebody else. But
well, I didn't. Right. It's not up to me to pick. They're just asking our opinion. You know, the thing about Wynn, he had a good game, but Utah had, according to our crackpot researcher Mark up here, 234 yards after the catch. So he threw the ball short, and his receivers helped him out. Johnson just made a statement for that defense.
Yes, he did. Those two unbelievable hits early in the ball game. Tipped one that caused an interception, and then intercepts one himself.
Well, I tell you, that truck's quick. But, you know, in the message that Robert Johnson sent earlier, you know, where he hit those receivers coming from Cal and busted them, knocked the ball loose, I thought his aggressiveness sent the message, picked his teammates up, and then he ends up having an interception at the end as a reward.
It's the kind of thing when you do it early, it has a lasting effect throughout the ball game because nobody likes to get smacked right in the grill. It's no fun. And he did it twice on a couple of beautifully thrown balls and really had a heck of a game.
And nothing, you know, against Jordan Wynn. He had a heck of a game.
Yes, he
Came
did.
in here and he outplayed Kevin Riley.
But he's going to have other opportunities as well.
Yeah.
And Johnson being a senior, pretty good. Sports Center is next. Thank you for the sign.
It seems like Sports Center's next all the time, though. Is there never not a Sports Center? When is it not next?
It's always next.
It is always next.
Well, hats off to the Mountain West.
They sure have looked good.
I think a lot of people woke up last year when Utah beat Alabama, and they went, hey, you know, there's no fluke about this. If you're late to the party, these guys can play.
And I really would like to have seen TCU and Boise State play someone from a bigger conference.
I agree.
I would not. That'll be
because
an excellent game. But
what do you learn from a national standpoint with those two playing each other?
Nothing.
You still have every question you had before they played each other.
Now the big schools, you know, they're glad they're not having to play them.
Absolutely. Because the only thing that's going to happen there is you're going to get embarrassed by somebody. Or if you do win the game, people are going to say, well, you were supposed to win, weren't you?
Yeah.
And now for tonight's player of the game, brought to you by Capital One, as we await with bated breath the decision of our guys in the truck. And it would be
RJ
Robert Johnson. 2 tackles, 2 enormous pass breakups, 1 interception, and 1 tip that resulted in an interception. Now Cal back on offense, and there's a catch by Nyan Boateng. Now I have a question for you, Craig. I know you're a bright guy, but you're never going to get this one. Nyan Boateng speaks 3 languages. The third one, I was going to say you can guess, but you could guess for the rest of your life. I know I could, and you would never get it right. He speaks Twi.
Twi?
T-W-I.
Is that like the beginning before Twitter or something?
No, it's not. He speaks Twi, which is spoken in parts of Ghana. He speaks English, French, and Twi.
English, French, and Twi. I speak English, American, and Texan.
Well, that's 3. Coming up, Sports Center. Then the ESPN News Post-Game Extra we'll have for you. And the ESPN360.com trophy presentation from our ball game here in San Diego. I have become a real ESPN 360 fan in the last couple of years. They're just anything you want.
Those stored games, being able to go back and watch all the games that's stored for you.
I mean, there's so many games on opposite each other, and you only get to see highlights sometimes. You want to go back and look at those games, they're all archived. It's wonderful.
It makes you wonder what's coming next. Technologically.
Not me, I've given up.
I still haven't figured out the fax machine, so I know I'm behind.
Yeah. Well, they'll tell us what's next. so it won't be a problem. Cal trying to make something happen late here. This will be a 4th down, and Vereen will get the first down to the 45-yard line, a new set of downs. This will be the 9th consecutive bowl victory, and that ties them with USC and only 2 behind Florida State.
They go to 9. Florida State at 11. And you know, when you watch that, you thought, how can anybody get to 11?
Oh, exactly. And boy, they had a lot of big ones during that 11-game streak too. Cal trying to get something done here in the final seconds, and that was Miller from Riley. Clock stops momentarily. Utah with a chance to get some subs in the ball game to play that one. If Robert Johnson doesn't slip, he's got another interception, because that ball was tipped up in the air. No, he doesn't need the pick. He's already won the Player of the Game award.
Absolutely. Now, I understand the Wrangler Player of the Game when we do that. Now, the City One Player of the Game, you can get a pair of jeans or something, right? It's a Capital One. The Capital One Player of the Game. So, I mean, what do you do?
Get a credit card? I don't know.
Now, you may not want to get one of those.
Always use a credit card.
That's complete to Marvin Jones. Number 10, Stevenson Sylvester.
Well, I will ask you, given the success of the Mountain West, do you think this is a conference that deserves to have an automatic bid to the BCS Bowls? As they go to the end zone, and it's Jeremy Ross with a catch for the touchdown. 24 yards. All that's going to do is change the final score.
I'll answer your question. They do not deserve an automatic qualifying bid until they play week in and week out on the level of some of these other conferences. That does not mean that their top 3 aren't capable of going into the Pac-10 and competing for the Pac-10. But they're not challenged week in and week out like.
You think it's a problem of conference depth?
Depth.
In other words.
Quality and depth, that's right. Overall. Not apples and apples. You know, Kevin Riley, obviously this is mop-up duty here, but at least they're completing the ball down the field and doing something. Jeremy Ross pulling it in there.
Riley was 7 out of 9 on that drive. And Jeff Tedford will have no other option than to go for an onside kick here. They are out of timeouts, so they would be unable to stop the clock. We would like to thank the organizers of the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl, especially to Executive Director Bruce Binkowski and Director of Communications Mark Neville. They have helped us a great deal out here, and we want to thank them for all their help and support. Although they couldn't do anything about the weather, could they?
It was sunny, partner. It just was a little cool.
Well, that's true. They will go for 2. Riley on the sprint out, dumps it off, incomplete. And Riley was drilled.
He sure was. An awkward deal. Fortunately, his feet were off the ground. One of those where you lose your breath.
Yes, sir.
Wind knocked out of you. Well, as Heather Cox said, she visited with Coach Whittingham going in at halftime, and he said that he was pleased with his defense overall and his team. You could sense that he was confident. You could feel the vibe of their team, that they were really they were going to come back out and continue what they'd started in the second quarter. And Coach, I mean, Kyle's a heck of a coach. I tell you, he has got a really solid foundation, and he's got a young quarterback to build around now.
And has an enviable record as the successor to Urban Meyer. Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN Saturday. We'll have 3 games for you. First at 1 Eastern, the Thundering Herd of Marshall against the Ohio Bobcats. That's in the Little Caesars Bowl. Then at 4:30, the Pitt Panthers and the Tar Heels of North Carolina in the Meineke Car Care Bowl. Then at 8 o'clock, we cap it off with the Boston College Eagles against the Trojans of USC in the Emerald Bowl. Capital One Bowl Week on ESPN and ESPN360.com. on Saturday.
Boy, you and I had Arizona at USC to end the season, regular season, and USC's had 2 or 3 players that have been, won't make it for this game.
Yeah.
Wow, it's going to be interesting to see how they finish.
See if they are going to play with any kind of emotion. Utah recovering the onside kick. David Reed, the wide receiver, was there on the good hands team. And now with Cal unable to stop the clock again, should be easy for Utah to run it out with only 1:46 to go.
Jordan Wynn, the quarterback, said that he gained a lot after playing TCU in their defense. And the game slows down. You play a great defense like TCU, then anybody that you play from that point forward is not going to be as coordinated or as any faster because TCU can run.
Now that's a lot for an SMU guy to say.
I like TCU. Got tons of friends in Fort Worth. I don't know why. I definitely didn't want to lose to TCU when I was in school.
Yeah, that's right.
I would not want to have to play TCU now, I promise you.
I'll bet.
That used to be about as physical a game as we ever played. Man, they would beat you up physically. Woo. Well, Kyle Whittingham. He's going to be a lot happier at Christmas than Jeff Tedford.
Yeah.
The old BYU linebacker beat us in the Holiday Bowl. I like him a lot better now. He used to try to hurt me.
Well, they lost a couple of big games this year that they could have won. And it could have been another marvelous season for Utah. For California, it was the disappointment of being ranked so high earlier in the year and then having the big games they played in the Pac-10 being major disappointments. And I think this is going to fall into that category too.
There's no way that the Pac-10 can't be disappointed in the last 2 days. But every year, the beauty of college football is you never know what to expect. I think the Pac-10 is a good conference. And I think Oregon State, last night surprised me. I thought they would compete and play a lot better than they did.
Well, don't you think the Pac-10 this year was as good as it's been in the last 15 years?
Yeah.
As a conference.
And like Arizona, Mike Stoops, they did a heck of a job this year. And they're going to be out here in the Holiday Bowl next week. So, yeah, it's a good conference, no doubt.
Final score, Utah 37. California 27. Coming up next, we have SportsCenter for you. We'll see you over on ESPN News in a few moments for a post-game extra to wrap up this game and for live coverage of the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl trophy ceremony about to get underway. We'll have that for you on ESPN360.com. For Craig James, Heather Cox, and our entire crew, this is Mike Patrick. So long from San Diego, where Utah is the bowl champion.